Hello, folks. Welcome back to the podcast. If you hear my dog in the back, I apologize. So today's gonna be another low-key one. Low. Uneventful. So I heard about this, I think it's like a psychological study that was done. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was a while ago. It was back in like 1997 by this psychologist, Arthur Aron. Which is basically like a recipe for like a love spell. It's supposed to be like, what is it, 36 questions that you're supposed to ask each other and then look into each other's eyes for 4 minutes. Okay, I gotta let my dog out. But I always thought it would be like the perfect thing to do on like a first date. I don't know if it's gonna make you fall in love, but I guess the idea behind it is to like get very vulnerable, and that's what's gonna be like the recipe for love. I don't know if there is one, but I thought this was very interesting, the thought, like the premise behind it. So I thought that's what we could do today and see if we fall in love. I don't think I've looked at the questions. I think I've like glimpsed on them. And I think the first time that I saw was on a TV show. So I don't really have much to back it up for. But we'll give it a shot and see what happens. So the first question, and there's 36 of these. Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? This is very interesting. I don't know who I would want. That's so like they would be like a guest at your dinner. That sounds very nerve-wracking. Fuck. I've already started this with failure. I really don't know how to answer this. I feel like if you asked me this like 10 years ago, I could have given you like a way better answer. I don't know. I'm going to say pass. Yes, that would 100% be my answer. The second one is, would you like to be famous? You know, in what way? I think people would want to be famous for something that is respected. So I think that's what like the goal is. So it's supposed to be something that someone's not going to look down on you for or mock you for. So I feel like it would have to be something like very like mainstream or like very classic. That type of fame. I feel like that's the answer. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say? Why? Oh, okay. So obviously, different stages of age, I've done different things. Now, not for okay. I hate telephone calls. I don't do telephone calls. I don't know. It's like 10 times more anxiety. I have no freaking clue why. I guess if like we're talking about like a conversation before it happens, yes. I won't like rehearse like word for word, but I'll like play like how I think things are gonna go down, which who's to say how what that means. I feel like a lot of that is like just is gosh, I feel like a lot of that's anxiety. I feel like when I'm anxious, so if it's like something new or something very important, I get very anxious about how I'm going to deal with it. If it's something that I'm very like comfortable with, I'm probably going to be less anxious. So if it's going to be like something like one of those two categories, I'm probably going to be rehearsing in my head of all the different scenarios that could go around. So I guess that would be how I do that. And the answer would be because I'm anxious. What would constitute a perfect day for you? That's so hard. I feel like you could do that on like so many different levels. Perfect day, I guess it would depend on who I was with. Because I feel like even if I was like doing like the best, like the coolest things or like the things that like are so exciting, I feel like it would be a lot it would be way I can't speak. It would be better if it was done with someone that you could actually enjoy it with. I feel like if you're by yourself, it's like, okay, this is fun, but most of the experience is experiencing it with someone else. So I think the number one thing I would say is have someone there that I wanted to be there. That's so weird to say. Uh Not be alone. No. The perfect day would be with someone that I probably the person that I love. I'm so in my head that I feel like I could have like a fun time or like outside, but I feel like it would be so much better when you're not like thinking about everyone else, which sounds a little bit wacky. So I don't know. Maybe like just like a simple I don't I feel like I'm so lame when I'm just like, okay, yeah, like have a just like have a private day with someone that you love. It's still, I feel like that's very simple, but that would be yes. Ooh. When did you last sing to yourself or to someone else? Sing to yourself, like just like singing out loud. I sing all the time. I sing way too much, like nonstop. I constantly sing. I don't think there's a time where I'm not singing, and I'm not trying to sing good, so it's a lot like cat scratching, but I sing nonstop. I don't think I've ever sang to someone, like serenaded them. I don't think I've done that before. Just because I think that would be so nerve wracking. I feel like I could record it, but like doing like serenading someone like in the moment, I feel like that takes some. Oh my god, I would die. That's so nerve wracking to me. If you do it, props. Oh, that sounds. Oh my gosh. That's like one of those things like proposing to someone in public because if like anything bad happens, you have now on top of it like public embarrassment, which is great. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? Oh my god. I feel like I'm going to get so much shit. I would choose the mind. That's my worst fear. Is like my mind deteriorating. Like that is one of my worst fears. I feel like that's just so haunting. And like I would definitely want to keep my mind if that was a choice, which it's not. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? I don't take good care of myself. I feel like I'm going to die of like something like I don't know. Something about how I eat or my eating habits. I feel like that's what's going to make me kick the bucket or just like me not taking care of myself, which is not something to laugh at. It's just like I feel like it's something that's so preventable. I don't know who's gonna imagine like yeah someone's gonna murder me. I don't think someone's gonna anticipate that, and if they do, then it's a bit scary. I think it's gonna be something like I had a heart attack. I don't know. I hope. I don't want it to be like. I don't hope. I hope it's not something like brutal. I don't know. I think about that one too much, and I get it's too scary because like there's like that's literally the worst thing for me to think about that and like the afterlife. And I'm gonna take a step back because that literally freaks me out. I'll go into a whole spiral. Name three things you and your partner appear to have in common. This one's tricky to do, huh? Um, our like how do you say enthusiasm? Our ability to like hyper focus. Oh, our model good looks. Number 9. For what in your life do you feel most grateful? This has to be your loved ones. Like I feel like anything else. I feel like there's when you go with this question, I feel it's like a lot of like triumphs. So I feel like if you've been through any hurdles that you've had to struggle your way out of and you've achieved that, it's such like a great thing that it's like that would be one of the things that I would be, grateful for. But of course, it's your loved ones. I feel like that's like the no duh. I don't think anyone wants to be just like alone on this earth for the rest of your life. That sounds very miserable. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? I talk about this way too much, and I try not to blame. Like this one's such a tricky one, especially like if parents are gonna hear it, which I don't think this one was intended. I feel like anything you're like shaming them on or judging them for how they raised you. So I'm gonna try to answer that without hitting that one, which is hard. I'm guessing this is such a horrible question. This is the okay. If we're being brutally honest here, the I guess I would say is I would say that I wished my parents waited a little bit longer to have this. I don't even know if that could be said because I feel like so many things can happen and you can still end up in the same spot. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what exact thing that I would change. I don't know. I don't know. My fear is changing anything is like the butterfly effect, where like you change one thing and it ends up completely like 10 times worse. So I feel like let's just leave it there. And yeah, I feel like anything else, who knows what it could be like. I think we're gonna skip this one because I feel like I've already like the first two episodes was literally me doing this, which is just take 4 minutes and tell your life story as much detail as possible. The next one, if you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? I feel like I would take away my anxiety. I feel like that would be bad because I feel like it's useful, so you're not just like not worried about anything happening. But at the same time, I feel like if I don't know, I feel like it would have been a lot better without having it. And also my empathy. I hate that. It sounds horrible, but I hate that like I literally it's so hard for me to do things because I put myself in the other person's position and then I care so much about hurting them or how they're feeling in the situation that I don't want to do certain things that like people just do without even thinking. So it sucks sometimes, but I'm very grateful for it on the other hand. So I guess it's so I think it's just a very pro con situation. I don't know. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, and the future, or anything else, what would you want to know? God, wouldn't knowing like influence your decisions to make it not actually happen? Like this is all my thinking. What would I want to know? Okay, I would want to know like how and when I was gonna die. I feel like that's like the big one. Cause then I feel like I wouldn't try to prevent it. Cause I'm like, it's gonna happen no matter what. I would feel like I could prepare for it. I don't know if you could like I don't know. I would try to prepare for it. That would be my goal. Is there something that you've dreamt of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? I guess I've always wanted to start a real family, not a real family, but I guess I've always wanted to like to have kids, but at the same time like I don't know if it's like the best decision for me personally. So then it's like, oh, is this the time? Am I ready for this? I don't know. What is the greatest accomplishment in your life? Hmm. I don't know. I think I'm most proud of like how like the impact that I leave on people, which is like really hard and it really hurts me if like you like if I leave like the wrong impact, which I'm trying to work on. But I feel like my greatest accomplishment would be like how people view me, but not so much of like, oh my god, that I think that girl's cool or whatever. It's so much of like, okay, I don't know. This person, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Uh, this person didn't harm me. I don't know what's the baseline for that. I guess I just I want to leave a good impact, not a massive, just like a nice impact, and leave the world better than where you left it, if that's possible. Maybe a little worse. What do you value most in a friendship? Well, as you can see, as I don't have many friends, um, I think it's loyalty and not so much of like they can't be around anyone else but you, but so much like loyal to you when you're not around. You know what I mean? So like if someone's like disrespecting you, they're not going to be like piling on behind your back, that type of person. I feel like that really rubs me the wrong way. Cuz I feel like if you're having a fight like face to face, that's whatever. I feel like you can figure that out. But that one really rubs me the wrong way. Cuz then I'm just like, "Oh, you seem very fake." What is your most treasured memory? Oh, this is just sad. I don't even know if I have one. Like, I don't know. This is so sad. I don't think I have a treasured memory. Um, I guess when I'm like looking back, like this nostalgia, I always think back to when all my siblings were like kids. We like when we were all kids. If it like the times we were living in were probably like one of the worst times. It was there were at points where it was really nice. So like I can look back now and I look back and I'm like, "Oh my god, nostalgia." So that's nice. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you were living and why? Okay, we kind of answered that one. Um, yeah, I think I just said that I would just try to prepare. I want to try to like if you died in 1 year. Well, that's extreme. I think I would. Maybe for that one, you have 1 year. Yeah. Wouldn't that be like the worst prank ever? Like April Fools, you're not going to die, but you ruined your life. Ugh. That sounds horrible. Okay, 1 year. That yeah. No, everything would be gone. Like you would if you were going into a 9 to 5 job and you have 1 year to live. That's ridiculous. That's like humanity has failed you at that point. I think I would just try to do everything that I want to do before I live while having an existential crisis. Is I think what I would do. Um, what does friendship mean to you? Friendship, I think it's just like caring about someone on almost the same level you care about yourself. And if you're me, sometimes more. And when I say that, it doesn't mean like people will be like just because you care you have to solve every problem. That's not necessarily what I mean. It's more of like, oh, you care about that they're actually in that situation. That's what I mean. Like if you have someone in your life and they're struggling and you don't care about that, I don't think you that's a friend in my opinion. What roles do love and affection play in your life? Very major. Like due to like several factors. I am like an anxious wreck. Like I need like deep compressions to be basically like strangled on my body to feel good. So I feel like not having affection is like one of my major like I'm going to like shrink up into a cocoon and die. Like it's so sad like if I was like not in the mood, like nothing was putting me in the mood, I could probably go without sex for like crazy long time. Like oh my god. Affection, on the other hand, I feel like, oh my god, that would kill me. I don't think I could go without that one. Like, 'cause like, I need it so bad. Okay, so we're doing positive characteristics. Okay, I can say a word. I love that you constantly think about people before yourself. I love that making other people happy makes you happy. I love how non-judgmental you are and how safe of a person you are. I love that you make me laugh. And I love that you have the same fucked up sense of humor that most people can't tolerate. Okay, now done with the gushy stuff that makes everyone with intimacy issues uncomfortable. Speaking of intimacy issues, how close and warm is your family? Do you feel your childhood was happier than most other people's? I feel like I was a happy kid at moments. It wasn't like 24/7 I was walking down with a smile on my face. It was just like things that wouldn't normally make people happy made me happy. So I feel like that was the oh my god, what the fuck? But I feel like my childhood wasn't actually that happy. Mm. I feel like I feel like a lot of families do have a lot worse relationships with their family. I can't speak. There are things about my that without going into it on the internet publicly. There are some things about my family that I don't like, but I feel like I'm very lucky at certain aspects of having certain people in my life for family. And I do realize that. But there's also aspects of my life where I'm just like, maybe we can just forget that this ever happened. How do you feel about your relationship with your mother? I have a very, what is it, tumultuous relationship with my mom. Um, I don't know, we've gone from places of being very close to, I don't know. This is, what was the question again? How do I feel about my relationship with my mother? Um, I wish it could be better. I feel like everyone wishes like they have this idea in their head on what they want their parents to be like, just like they have for their children. And then when it doesn't compare to what they have in their mind. She's my mom, so I feel like no matter what, she's always gonna be my mom. So I think that's what I'll say. Oh my god, this is so like therapy speak. Make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room feeling. What? Okay, so is this supposed to make us feel like connected? It's supposed to make us feel like, oh, I see. Okay. So, like, we're both on this podcast. Okay, so we're hopefully gonna watch the whole podcast. I'm so bad at this. I don't know how to do restatements. We're gonna be okay. I feel like that's a good one. These are getting tricky. Okay, I did not graduate with a therapy degree. Complete this sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share time, vulnerability, safety. I know I was supposed to just give one. I gave 3. If you were going to become a close friend with your partner, please share what would be important for him or her to know. What? Wait, so you're becoming a friend with them? That's so weird. What? This is so weird. Okay, what? Okay, this makes no sense. If you are going to become a close friend, so like you're taking the romance out? I guess for me, I'm very high maintenance. And if you're like not on my mind or waving in my face, I can be absent-minded friend, which sucks and I hate it so much. But there's also times where like I can still be thinking about something, but then due to like 5 million things that are going on, or my fucked up emotional state, I decide not to go there, which is not really the best decision. Tell your partner what you like about them. Be very honest this time, saying things you might not say to someone you just met. Oh, this is so hard for me. Not like thinking of it, but thinking it, but articulating it. That just sounds so fucked up. Um, I guess the number one, which would be, I love how you make me feel. Be very honest. I feel like I'm just saying the same things over and over. I feel like the number one thing is the ability to just completely be yourself around someone without them automatically like pulling out a gun and shooting you. That's such a fucked up comparison. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's literally like you being able to be vulnerable with someone and them not judging you in that moment. I feel like that almost over anything will always be the top, like the best. An embarrassing moment in your life. Okay, I got one. Oh my god, this is really. So I don't know how old I was. I think I was like, I must have been like 9. It was like way older. Like it was. But you know how the swings at the park, there's like the swing sets that they like the normal ones, and then they have like the ones that are like safe so that you can put like toddlers in it or whatever. For some reason, at the age of like 7 or 9, I decided to try to sit into the infant size seat and literally got stuck in there because I couldn't get out. I didn't call, but someone, I think it was my sister, they had to call the mechanic to come up and literally cut me out of the swing because I was stuck in there so much. This is the second time this happens to me. But it was so embarrassing. It was at the park, and like everyone was like looking at this dude literally cutting me out of the swing. I don't know how much it costs the park because I decided to literally sit in a child size. Oh my god. I was so smart. When did you last cry in front of another person or by yourself? I hate crying in front of people. I literally despise it. I like a good cry by yourself. I think it's very therapeutic. I don't think it's good to hold it in. I'm not by myself a lot, so I feel like a good shower cry sounds so fucked up. But I'll cry in the shower because like the shower, disguises your tears. This is horrible. I don't know. I don't like showing emotion. I don't like being vulnerable in front of people. And even if like I do, like it's so because then like why are you, unless it's something like where it's like I've broke down over someone dying before. I hyperventilate. I can't speak. I hyperventilate. I'm the person like literally I'll start crying and then I'll get worked up and then I can't breathe and it literally feels like you're dying. Like I know some people have had panic attacks. Have literally called an ambulance because they thought they were dying. And then they got told, they're like, no, you just had a panic attack. But they don't know what's happening in their own body. It's just very scary. It's really scary. Tell your partner something you like about them already. They're sexy ass. What, if anything, is too serious to be joked about? I have a fucked up sense of humor. Like, I will joke about my own personal traumas. And, like, I have a very fucked up sense of humor. And sometimes I feel like it does cross the line. But I feel like my thing is like, what is the purpose of this joke? Is this to like mock and belittle someone? Or is this to like us like lightheartedly joke our way through this? It's hard to it's hard to see which one it is. But if you're able to figure it out, I feel like I'm much more, I can be a lot more accepting. Also, people learn, grow in like age. I feel like if everyone had what they did when they were like 20 on the internet for the rest of their life would be ruined. Like, I feel like no one's pigeonholed to that same thing as like no one remembers. It's not like stained on history. I guess there's lines that like should never be crossed. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? Why haven't you told them yet? Fuck, this is morbid. I would regret not going for the things that I'm too scared of whatever could happen. Because I guess that's the thing of like when you're at that line of like, okay, well it's done. All the times when you're like, oh my god, well, this could have gone bad, but you're like, well, you could have done it and you would have known. No matter if you failed, obviously not like hurting anyone, but like you just be like you feeling bad is something that you can get over. You can look back and see, oh, I tried and I actually went through every opportunity that I could get to see if it was possible. And I feel like you're going to have no regrets. Your house containing everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save only one item. What would it be? Why? Okay, I'd let's not get into my possessions. I guess for this it has to be something that is like it has to be something personal. It has to be something that like you can't buy again. I don't think I have anything. This is just a sad ass podcast. It's just like I don't have anything. I'm sorry, I'm just Eeyore. Of all the people in your family, whose death would you find most disturbing and why? Well, anyone in my immediate family I would be very disturbed for and probably scarred. But I feel like the most like you're not supposed to do this. But I feel like the person it was probably my sister. Um Me and my sister Lakshmi were very close growing up. Like best friends. Still to this day, it's just I'm very bad at maintaining people in my life. We're both bad at it, so I feel like that's why we're we both have equal intimacy issues. Share a personal problem and ask advice on how to handle it. Also ask to there's a lot of asking. So we're supposed to ask a personal problem. Um So we're just gonna ask a personal problem to the void. Okay. How would a modern day Romeo and Juliet get together? I know that's not like the usual problem, but I feel like that's one we can end with. So thank you for listening to me rant on. I know this was not the most interesting podcast. I feel like I say that every week. I'm sorry, I'm just a boring person. I'm really apologize. I appreciate listening, and I appreciate you guys coming. I can't fucking speak, and I'll see you next week. Bye.